dizzy. he's not a far right guy. I think he's honestly the best chance he got.
These type of fucking people think we should be the pro top guys. It's the power of the cops and their top guys. Oh, he's on the other side. That would be shiny top.
Board members, we need you to please grab a seat. Alpha, we're trying to see if we got to make sure we're meeting quorum before we start. Thank you. All right, we're going to get started. Ernst, you'll have George log on for us and open it up. Alfredo's here. He's right here. Okay, we're going to get started. Alfredo, welcome. Any other board members out there? 8, so we need 7 more for quorum. Okay. We need 7 more for quorum, but we're going to get started with public gallery. They need their cards over here. Luke.
You know something? We look for Luke. I can't even find mine.
What's up, bro?
Hi. Hola, Alfredo. Okay. Good evening. Welcome, everybody. We're getting ready to start our June board meeting. Today is June 26th, and it is 7:14, and we're opening up our meeting. We will start with our public gallery session. And just a reminder for our public gallery session to our speakers, you get 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes to speak, 30 seconds to review next steps. We'll start with Guy. Is there a Guy? Go ahead.
Good evening, community. I bring you greetings from the Family Enrichment Center. I have good news. We now have a location. Our new location is 3535 Holland Avenue. The community has renamed us. We are no longer the Williamsbridge Baychester Family Enrichment Center. We are the Uptown Family Enrichment Center. Together we grow. We still continue to serve the community. Last week, we were part of the CEC meeting of parent coordinators of our school district, and we met with them. We'll be doing several parent workshops throughout the district. We continue to serve at the RAIN senior centers in the area. We did cards and conversations. We have men's group, and we also have beauty and hygiene that we've been working at the RAIN centers. We thank you for your support. If anyone has any questions, thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Alan William? Alton.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this occasion that I could voice my choice about the issues that I have. I acquired 2 property, one in 1979, 4232 Eli Avenue. Since 2007, the sidewalk, a tree planted there, and the sidewalk is actually ruined right at the front of the house. And I've been calling 311, and until now, I've been getting all the excuse. And 18 years, and that sidewalk cannot be fixed. The sidewalk beside it fixed, the sidewalk opposite, the sidewalk adjacent, but that section is left unknown. So I would really like to find out what's the reason, because for all these years I've been paying my taxes. If I hadn't paid tax 1 year or whichever it may be, what would have happened? So these questions, I would like to really get an answer. The second issue is this, there's a property on 4158 Barnes Avenue between 232nd and 230 and 231st, rather. And that sidewalk, how could I say, people park it there. Residents park there all along. And the sidewalk is always filthy. Garbage left from the cars is dumped there. I've been asking the city for a light to say if they would put light or camera. I think that would help solve the situation, but until now, I hadn't been getting any issues resolved where that is concerned. So I'm just here to find out if there's an issue, if I could get some information concerning this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Ursula or George, if you'd like to reply. I know, Ursula, you were mentioning that you did put in a complaint. George,
Yeah,
Ursula.
I'm here. So, you want me to respond to the complaint about the sidewalk, right? I'm asking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So my understanding of how the sidewalk program works, or the tree roots program specifically, is you make a complaint. The city goes out, they make an assessment, and they grade your sidewalk. And then when they're doing the contract, when the city lets out these contracts, if your sidewalk falls within the parameters of what was being done, or like is graded enough to do it, they will fix it. I am surprised you did say that your neighbors got it done. Did the city do it, or did they do it themselves? Because you have the option as a homeowner to get it done yourself as well.
Could I say something? The Environment Board right here have several reports. I've been there several times. I call 311 yearly. I usually do that until I get the information. We don't. How could I say? If I report this year, if I report even early this year, by a few months later, they don't have no report of that report. You have to continue report. I'm continuing. The sidewalk started at 60. I think the value.
The rating.
The rating was 60. Now it's 89.
Yeah,
And
was
89 is since last year. I got the report that it was 89. I wouldn't call again, because I called so many times I don't know I'm getting the same report. So,
okay, but I asked you a specific question. You said your neighbors had their sidewalks done. Did they do it themselves, or did the city fix
the
it?
city did it and repeated, because they did it when the first year, 2 years ago, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they did it the second time. They did it, and probably it was not done right. They came back and did it, and right adjoining is left there. It's on my phone if you want to see what it looks like.
No, it's again, sir. This is the community board. We'll take your complaint, and just like Ursula has, and we will report. We'll make those complaints to the Parks Department and to DOT. But my understanding, as I stated before, is that if your sidewalk is not graded as that much of a problem, then they'll skip over it. And it seems like that's what the case was. I don't know the rating of your neighbors. The city does not make this information available. We, as a community board, have asked through our budgetary process in past years to increase the funding for this project, for this program. The city council and the mayor's office have not. There are a lot of homeowners like yourself that are upset that they get violations or notices that are because of tree roots, but you're not supposed to be held liable if something happens because there's a defect in the sidewalk due to a tree root. There was legislation several years ago that corrected that situation. So, we'll continue to make the complaint. We will follow up with the elected officials. I understand from Ursula that she did reach out to the councilman's office and that they are working on it. But this, we'll continue to make the case for you.
But I've been hearing that for 18 years. The sidewalk beside me, I don't have to sit here to prove anything, but the sidewalk beside me did not have the issue that that my sidewalk had. Because my sidewalk, the tree root lifted up, the concrete is lifted up like this. Con Ed came there and fixed, there's a gas meter section there. And Con Ed came there and fixed it because
Can I just suggest something? Because I'm a resident here, a homeowner too, so I would be highly upset as well. Do you have pictures that you can send us? Pictures that you can send us? Because unfortunately, you know, like the most we can do, which George and Ursula have done, is submit a complaint. We're not enforcement, but if you send us pictures, we can continue to advocate for the need for you.
I only have the pictures in my phone.
Okay, I'll give you my email address and Ursula's and George, and just send it to us, because at least we'll have something to share on your behalf.
Very well, I appreciate it. Because
Okay.
Ursula have copies of everything that I'm talking about here.
Okay.
So I'm not making up something. It's
No,
18
we get it.
years.
We understand.
You know? Yes.
But if you can send us pictures, at least we'll be able to share those as well when we're advocating on your behalf.
All right.
But that's the most we can do, but we will definitely continue to push.
I have a text here from the assembly member that it is dependent on funding and availability, and that the current contract is currently paused. So there is your answer. And the thing is, additionally, because the city doesn't specify in advance which properties that they're going to fix with whatever contract monies they have, you're literally in limbo. They can say, we're going to fix White Plains Road, and they can literally stop in the middle of it and not do it, because again, it's dependent on funding. So, you know, we will continue to make the case. Obviously, I will just say you've been dealing with this for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, you may have to take matters into your own hand and deal with it, since you seem to be very upset about it, and fix it yourself.
But like what I was saying to you, right now, sidewalk on Boston Avenue is being done, which does not have the issues that I'm talking about, that I'm speaking of.
We understand, and exactly why you would be upset.
But the gentleman said he's just giving me the same rigmarole. That's what I would say, because as I said,
Right.
been here over and over 18 years. Come on.
Luke, you have something to?
So the city has a citywide contract that repairs the pedestrian ramps at intersections. So if you see a lot of places in our neighborhood are getting digged up by the crosswalks, and that's a program. But it sounds like unfortunately your property isn't at the intersection, so it wouldn't benefit from that type of program. But it also sounds, you said your neighbor had a Con Ed issue and Con Ed fixed it?
No, it's the same sidewalk.
Right. We can,
My sidewalk,
yeah.
I showed you. Do you have any?
We can also talk offline after the meeting.
No, okay. Because on the same sidewalk here, the house is here. This side of this section is lifted up. Here is lifted up. Right here.
Alton,
This section.
Alton, we
is
do,
the gas being.
excuse me, Alton. We do have to continue, but we do want to get more information from you. So as soon as we're done, we're going to continue to, and you'll send us pictures and we'll coordinate next steps. Thank you. But we're with you as residents of this community and homeowners. Okay, anyone else here present for Public Gallery Speaks? No? Online? Do we have anyone online for our Public Gallery session? Okay, so that closes our portion of the Public Gallery session. We're going to move on to Housing Connect's presentation. Are they here?
I don't see anybody here from.
Housing Connects?
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Okay, maybe that's great. That's great. Okay. All right. Closing that section. They're not here. We're going to push them to next month then. All right. So now we can't conduct business really because we haven't met quorum. We have some latecomers, so we'll continue. Oh, we have one more. If you can just come by here to check in. That's 20. We need two more on their way. Javid and Wayne just texted they're on their way. So we'll move on to the elected officials reports. Andy, we'll start with you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Andy Turcios. I'm with New York City Council Member Kevin C. Riley. To start, in honor of Gun Violence Awareness Month for June, I'm going to start with what legislation we try to work on. So June 11th, we actually had, the council member had a little public safety roundtable with a bunch of CMS groups and other legal advocates to talk and discuss about what initiatives they can take, particularly those involving the youth, and gathering around to find how essentially can they create community-driven solutions. And he had a very productive conversation about what next steps should be based on the feedback that they provided. So on legislation, that's kind of the step that he took. Then I'll just move to the events that we're having. Tomorrow, June 27th, we're having a silent disco night in Coop City. That's going to be from 5 to 8. That's going to be Friday, June 27th, at the Coop City Section 5 Greenway. On June 28th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the YMCA, 1250 East 229th Street. We're going to be having the Veterans Resource Fair. We're going to have a lot of different city agencies, state agencies as well, and local agencies, organizations that deal with providing resources for veterans. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, June 28th. Monday, June 30th from 12 to 3, we're going to be having a community resource fair with Astor Services. It's going to be taking place from 12 to 3, Monday, June 30th, at the Astor Services parking lot on 7050 Tilden Street, Bronx, New York. We do ask that people register because they are giving away free lunch boxes, but you're free to come just to partake in getting the community resources that they have. On July 8th, we're doing a flood giveaway with DEP. It's going to be also a flood preparedness town hall while giving homeowners information about how to mitigate flood risks and also how to utilize flood kits. But it is while supplies last. So if I believe I sent out I haven't yet because it's in July, so I haven't sent that out yet. But when I do send it out, you'll be able to register, and I also have some flyers on the table, so you can RSVP or send this out to anybody that may be interested. As many homeowners that live in certain areas, they are affected by the floods on a consistent basis. July 26th, we're having a homeownership resource fair at Bronx NHS. That's 1451 East Gun Hill Road. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and that's July 26th, Saturday. You'll be able to learn about how to purchase a new home, access grants, low-interest loans, help with home repairs and home retention, so foreclosure prevention, and learning about the Clean Energy Hub. So, thank you. That's from 12 to 3. No problem.
Thank you, Andy. I don't see anyone else here. Anyone online? Any elected officials, representatives online?
Alina Dow with the mayor's office is here.
Hi, Alina. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me get my. I'm going to get my camera on. Hi. I just wanted to come on and wish you all a very. Oh wait, why do I have two cameras? A very, very happy summer. The mayor wants to make sure that we say thank you all for all the things that you do throughout the entire year in the Community Board 12. I'm not going on summer sabbatical, so please know that I probably will be working very closely with George and Ursula, as they have shared a lot of concerns, and I do my very best to be the conduit between all of you guys, them, and the mayor's city agencies. Just so you're aware, there some of the complaints, one like the one that we just got from the gentleman there, I will be following up with Ursula and George and just seeing what information I'm able to provide situations like that. So other than that, I am working and crossing my eyes and my toes and my fingers to get the mayor up in the next town hall, hopefully be up in Community Board 12. So I did ask Ursula to ask if I can receive the board, all of your information, so that I can reach out to you guys with a special invite. So I hope she can get a yes. And I will share my contact information so that everyone does not have to wait for a month to get in contact with me. My number is 914-446-8393, and my email is Dow, DOWE, at cityhall.nyc.gov. Thank you guys and have a wonderful summer.
Thank you, Lena. Just wanted to share that our legislative breakfast has been rescheduled for Saturday, and I'll be sharing with board members Saturday, July 12th, 9 a.m. here.
Miss Dow, is she
Yes.
still on? Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna need your assistance. I need a street permit. I'll send you all the information.
Please send it. Please send it.
Yes.
Send it.
Same place. Okay, no problem. Thank you.
And I do just want to make sure, for everyone, please, 311. I know I say it, and I'll say it until my life is blue. But please have it when you make the complaints. Make 311 your first protocol, first line of defense, and then we'll be able to just follow up from there. Because I'm dealing with some issues, and even DOB was like, Lena, I need a 311 complaint, and obviously I wasn't able to help them get it, but then they're able to move from there because they do get city agencies do get the 72 hours to reply to certain complaints, but they have to have the complaint first. So if you just go to, like I said, you go to the community board, or we don't have it in writing, then it's sort of the clock doesn't really start. So, but you please send me an email and add me on any emails of concern. Thank you, guys.
Ivan, I see your hand is up.
Hi, yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Ivan from State Assemblyman Jeffrey Dinowitz's office. I hope everybody's enjoying the drop in temperature. I just wanted to mention one thing from yesterday. I'm sure everybody noticed the traffic maybe on the Deegan. Well, actually, there was nothing on the Deegan because that was actually shut down and everything was redirected. But there was a substantial water main break yesterday. We were on the scene with DEP, OCEM, Office of Emergency Management. There wasn't a C in there, but either way, DOB, everybody else, everybody really came together and sort of addressed the emergency that ended up taking place at the construction site. We're happy to say that, all the numerous buildings that were affected had their water restored. But yeah, just a quick update about that. And outside of that, hope everybody enjoys their summer. If you're interested in signing up for our newsletter, it's jeffreydinowitz.us/newsletter. I'll make sure I put it in the chat for you. But yeah, I don't really have any updates, but I'm glad to see everybody and hope everybody enjoys their summer.
Thank you. Any other representatives online?
Oh, and sorry.
Yes.
We did get the notice about the legislative breakfast, so it is on our calendar.
Great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Any other elected official representatives?
Huntley Spencer from Senator Bailey's office.
Hello, good night, everyone. My name's Huntley Spencer. I'm from Senator Jamal Bailey's office. I serve as his events coordinator. This is my first time at CB12, so it's very nice to meet all of you guys. I'm usually out at CB11. So Renell didn't really share anything with me for this meeting. He did kind of, he was out of the office kind of unexpectedly. However, as the events coordinator, I can tell you that we are hosting a job fair tomorrow over by Bay Plaza Mall from 1 to 4 p.m. If you want any information about that, I'm going to type into the chat, and I will also type my info if you want to follow up. I organized it, so I'll be able to answer most of your questions, hopefully. In addition to that, we are planning the barbecue. The date is set July 19th. More information about that will be coming out soon. And that's it from me. I hope everyone has a very good night.
Huntley, if you could just let your office know, George did send out an email about the legislative breakfast that we're hosting here Saturday, July 12th.
I'll make sure to. I wrote it down too.
Thank you. Any other representatives online? Any other elected officials? Before we close this section? Okay, so we'll close that section, that portion of our agenda. I'll want to share some quick updates. Meetings. During the summer, we will be taking a recess and return back to meetings in September. Please note that this doesn't mean that it is mandatory to take a recess. If committee meetings or full board meetings need to be scheduled or need arises, then we may schedule something during the summer. But other than that, we'll resume in September. Our legislative breakfast, which is being sponsored by Congressman Torres, was supposed to happen in April, but because of the budgets not being passed on time, we had to postpone it, and so they gave us these dates. Our speaker, Hasty, is available on that date as he's having his cookout, so we're accommodating for it to happen that date. Sorry for those that won't be here. But it'll be here at our board office meeting at 9 a.m. Please make sure we'll send an email so that you can RSVP so that we have a head count of how much food to get as well. And just that, that this event is an opportunity for us to share our concerns, needs, and priorities. At the top of our list has always been infrastructure, updates needed, and not just pertaining to the increase in storms and flooding, but lack of sustainability and damage caused to our homes and our health. In addition, we need to assess our national grid and energy infrastructure. This past week, due to the heat wave, many of our neighbors, including myself, lost power for approximately 12 hours. I learned today some of our board members even longer than that. The energy infrastructure in the Bronx also requires assessment for upgrades needed. And even after the power outage, I had brown water for quite some time. So again, that's detrimental to our health. So those are things that need to be assessed. Summer outing, Talene mentioned that, and a few of us have been thinking, we've been trying to do it for the past few years, a board summer get-together, a cookout or something. We're trying to decide where we can do it. So stay tuned, but we're thinking someday in July, but we'll be sharing more information to assess how many can participate. Structure of the board. This summer, I will be checking in with co-chairs and assessing effectiveness and potential changes. I'm asking our co-chairs to evaluate their desire or ability to continue to co-chair, and also willingness to pass the baton to some of our other board members and mentoring them if so. We have many new board members who have demonstrated proactiveness, dedication, and the ability to move our ideas forward. So we'll be looking into that this summer. With that said, I just want to thank you all for your contributions throughout the year, and excited for our future and for all that we will accomplish collectively. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
I just wanted to mention that August 5th is National Night Out, and the 47 Precincts will be holding theirs. I believe that's Grenada Place. So be advised of that. And also on the 15th of July, yours truly will be sworn in along with Walter McNeil of Edenwall Houses. We will be taking over the PSAA police, and we're going to have a swearing-in ceremony on 229th Street in the trailer where the Edenwall's new board was just sworn in. But we will be doing that on the 15th of July. So just be advised of that. All right, and I have to talk to you. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, George, district manager's report. Anything you want to share?
Oh, I said I would, for the sake of brevity, I submitted it to everybody. I don't have to read it.
Okay. So now we're going to move on to roll call.
So the people who are virtual, we still call their names? Ms. Judith Benitez. She's virtual online. Berkeley Carlton. Carla Basadi. I think she's online.
Yes, mine.
Okay. Patricia Boswell. Can you say one more time?
No, you, their name.
Patricia Boswell. Thought I heard someone say something. Michelle Bloomfield. Joan Claude. Miss Joan Claude.
I'm present online.
Thank you.
Okay.
Beatrice Coronel.
Here.
Etonia Davis. Miss Tolene Dickinson.
Present and accounted for.
All right.
Oh, he's here. Carlton is here.
Okay, Carlton just walked in. We got him. He's present. Tierra Donaldson. Denise Echeverra.
Here, present online.
Okay, got you. Jaslyn Farmer. Alfredo Figueroa. Sabrina Fisher.
Present online.
Johnny Goff. She's excused. Sheila Grayson. Excused. Mr. Robert Hall.
Here.
John Isaac, which is me present. Alpha Kamara. Mr. Robert Link. Mr. Malik Javid. Mark Udabong.
Present online.
Okay, got you. Miss Lucille Martin.
I'm here online.
Okay, we got you. Mommy Mensa. Antoinette Mitchell. Elsie Andrea Murray. Elise. Okay. Miss Carmen Ortiz. Oh, Clinton Mike. Miss Carmen Ortiz. Yeah, I saw her on earlier, but.
Yeah, present.
Okay, got you, Carmen. Wayne Palmer.
Okay.
It's on its way. Reginald Paris. Ariel Peters. Dominique Fenn. Dr. Dominique Fenn. I have to change that. Anthony Reed. Anthony.
Online. Present online.
Yeah, we got you, and
All right, thanks.
Nicholas Rosa. Dr. Sherry Samuels.
Present online.
Karen Skinner Parks. Karen Skinner Parks. Carl Stricker.
I believe I'm here.
Benga Sabar. Mr. Luke Zabatos.
Here.
Deborah Torado. And Damian Tootin. Okay. That concludes the roll call.
Okay, and I want to apologize. We did not have it on the agenda, the approval of our board minutes for May, but we're going to take a vote. Can I get a motion to accept the? Okay.
Third.
That was moved by Carl Stricker and seconded by John Isaac.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do a collective vote. Any nays? Any abstentions? Any recusals? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and again, that was for our May report. One abstention from Michelle, who was not here. Okay, now we're going to move on to committee reports. And so I'll give it to Committee 1. who will be reporting. John, are you going to be reporting for Committee 1?
I'm on. Good evening. Committee 1 met on June 9th at the Town Hall. We had the Department of Design and Construction was present, and they presented the infrastructure improvements that are upcoming in the community. One major one that's coming up is the new water main and trunk line that's going to be on 233rd Street. It's going to go from Bronx Road all the way down to Duria. It's going to be a 48-inch trunk water line, and that's a major water line. And it's going to provide high quality of water and improve fire protection and replace the old online and undersized cast iron water main and sewers in the area. And the budget is a $60 million project. We're gonna have new curbs, sidewalk, trees. It's gonna improve the service grading and get rid of all the ponding issues that are along 233rd Street. I think the other project that we're looking at, there's another one that's going on too. It's on Bussing Avenue. And hold on, I got it. Here we go. Okay, and there's going to be an installation of a distribution water main, and it's going to be done in the fall of 2025. And mass mailing has been sent out, and I think even I saw in the community email that they're going to be turning off the water and adjusting, and you might see a little rust in the water or whatever, but don't be alarmed. It's just that they're working on the water mains and the distribution system. So this is all to improve the quality of water that we're getting and to address the issues that we're having with the hydrants and everything. Also, the committee, there was one co-naming that was presented to the committee, which was approved, and we also would like a vote on this for Coach Dwight Downer, and he was presented by his nephew Patrick Downer. And he was more than a football coach. He was a father figure and mentor and a community leader who dedicated his life to uplifting young people in this area. He worked with the Bronx Buccaneers at Dwight Clinton High School, and he mentored hundreds of boys and young men, teaching them not only fundamentals of football, but the values of responsibility, perseverance, and self-respect. And he was a former correction officer, and he was tragically killed on November 30 in a senseless car crash near his home on Eastchester Road. So the intersection that they were looking at was Eastchester and Given. So the committee voted in favor of the co-naming for it, and I would like the board to vote on the co-naming for Coach Downer.
Well, wait, first you have
First-
to pass, accept the report.
First, I need a motion to accept the.
Second.
So a motion has been passed to accept the report from the committee, and the next motion is to accept the co-naming for Coach Downer.
We have to take two votes on
So, no, we have to have two separate votes. The first vote is to accept the committee committee report. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, and the second vote is to approve the name of the co-naming. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Any nays?
Any nays? Ariel, one nay. Ariel.
Any recusal?
And I also wanted to note that
Wait, let me just get this first. So, for the first vote, were there any nays for the first? No. Unanimous. For the second, we have one nay. Ariel. Any other nays?
I might have to recuse myself. I don't know if I do, but I work for Department of Transportation.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we have, nay and Luis Sábados a recusal. But I do want to give the floor to Ariel at some point, because I do want you to present your idea that you brought up of the different way of managing street names.
yeah, I was gonna talk about that too because committee member Sadie Campbell, or she's passed or she's still on the board, she also wanted in our community we lost so many people from COVID, and she wanted to do like a memorial, like to recognize the people in the name, whether if it's a giant mural or someplace, and we just could not find. So there is consideration. So, all board members, if you have any ideas where we could memorialize our heroes in this neighborhood.
We have one at Bissell Gardens.
They just did it recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was for the Jamaican people that passed on.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the community persons from
No,
Syracuse.
I thought it was dedicated. I think Riley said it was dedicated for.
On the mic.
When I spoke about it, I spoke to Luke, who's in Parks. He suggested that Shoelace Park would be a good space to put that. Also, it will probably be called not called, but floating around the idea of a wall of memories. And it will be open to a lot of people that we have lost in our neighborhood. We have a lot of people that have contributed to our community, and we want to remember them. And I know that when it comes to renaming street names, we're going to run out of street names eventually, and also we have to reserve some type of context of how we're going to move forward with street names if we're going to run out. So that was an idea. Maybe that can also be a collaboration with Community Board 1 or 2 and 3. That way we can have the community in on it as well. We could either have it as like plaques with their names on it, or we can have some type of mural, or maybe both. But that's something that we can float around the idea. And this will kind of help families who come and they ask to have like a street name, to give them another option. We don't want to say no per se. So we want to give them something that they can remember it by. And then maybe us as a community board, when somebody do have lost somebody, we could all go out together. There's a candlelit service, like the community will be known for that park. But if anybody has any other locations that they are considering, that would be nice as well. But right now we're gonna float around the Shoelace Park idea.
I thought it would be if we considered Marcus Garvey in that grass area. I was thinking about that. We can create a wall. And I only say that because that's an area, it's under the train station. It's a beautiful place if the train wasn't coming and going to show movies. However, it would be a decent place to hang names. No. Under the L on Gun Hill and White Plains Road, the grass area. Yeah.
I like that idea as well.
I know we're gonna do a lead study there. There was some things that were going on. So, just keep that in consideration because, yeah.
This is something that we could even include in our neighborhood planning vision. Because that area, and I'm sorry I wasn't here, there was a blackout on Monday, and I was really hoping to be here. I was having conversations over Juneteenth with the DCP folks, Paul and Brenna, and they mentioned that area where last year it was a farmer's market. I don't know if you had the opportunity, if he brought it up. Did he bring it up? like that area again?
He did bring up that area,
Re-envisioning.
and I think like we just floated around ideas of what we could do with it, but
Right.
there wasn't. We didn't think about that because I was thinking about Shoelace Park,
Right.
but that also is a very good idea
Right.
to put it.
So I think let's take other questions, but I think this would be something that we should bring to committee again in September to really, expand on it. Everyone comes with their ideas, and then we continue. Go ahead, Luke.
So, I just want to say that even though I'm not allowed to vote, I really think that Mr. Downer's tragedy is something that we really need to remember for a really long time. I personally think that we could do one better and make that intersection safer to remember him and make safety improvements as part of an improvement to that intersection. But separately, I've seen other community boards handle the influx of street co-namings by having a moratorium. And I mean, it's a drastic move, but it allows the board to have a response that's consistent. I'm not sure if we would want to do that, but that's always an option.
Okay, so moving forward again, let's bring this to committee in September so that we can re-envision how the board collectively wants to do this. But are you saying, Luke, that you also are putting on the table that we should do something about that intersection?
So I have to say, I'm speaking in my personal capacity, not in my professional capacity, but yeah, I think that there's a lot of opportunity to make safety improvements to East Chester Road, and I think it would honor, all the other people who use that corridor.
Okay, so we'd have to take a vote, right, for a letter of support for that, but we can do that in September when we come back and continue the conversation. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
But that's a great idea.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to promote some type of closure with the Maggie Alston situation, that street naming. Number one, can we do it on the northeast corner of 229th in view of the fact that Carmen Rosa has the 229th Street? Or, if I remember correctly, Maggie Alston's people would use 230th Street and White Plains Road as a ulterior option. So hopefully we can get some closure to that. I don't know. We needed some information from DOT.
Since it's only going to be a corner, it's going to be a corner across the street by this. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't like talking to microphones, but well, my mouth is big enough. Goodbye. No, since Carmen Rose is on the southwest corner of the intersection, and Maggie would be on the northeast corner, northwest corner. No, I'm sorry.
Northeast.
Carmen's on the southwest corner. Maggie would be on the northeast corner. I don't see that should be an issue because there's two separate locations, and it's only the corner being named after the person who departed this world.
No, okay. The only question that came up, this is the first time we have someone on a western corner and someone on a northeastern corner.
It's the first time for everyone.
You're absolutely correct. But I'm under the presumption that this is doable,
I can't see why it wouldn't be doable.
We didn't get one, and that was why I wanted to kind of push forward to some type of closure with this issue. But you're saying from your experience that could happen.
There's two locations in Brooklyn that I know of that exist in Brooklyn.
Okay.
All right? I think it's in Community Board 9 or 10 in Brooklyn.
Georgia Ursula, is there any updates on the renaming on White Plains Road? Whether we could have two names at one intersection?
Ursula can't use her microphone from her computer, but I just spoke with her. We have not heard back from DOT. Yeah, that's it. We have not heard back from DOT. When we do, we will let the community board know.
Table.
Okay, Joan?
Speaking about the COVID memorial, that already occurred in May of this year, and also we had it in May of last year. I can't remember the name of the park that it was done, but it was done in conjunction with the elected officials and the Jamaica Progressive League. Maybe Carla would remember the name of the park because she was there last year. Carla, are you on? Do you remember the name of the park?
Bissell Gardens.
Bissell Gardens. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's where we had the COVID memorial. And the
Yes, it
intent,
was a beautiful event.
thank you. And the intent to do it there every year, if possible. Thank you.
Okay. Ursula or George, are we doing the cooler running item on the agenda? And, Ursula, I believe you said we had to take a vote on the dining out New York City application?
Yeah, did the committee take it up?
No, this was something that we added after Ursula had mentioned we have to take a vote on it, but the committee did not get to discuss it. So am I pushing it to September or? Right, but they needed it for the
There's
summer.
a deadline, and I'm talking to Ursula right now. The deadline, and the board needs to vote on it today.
I'm sorry, we couldn't hear.
If we want to meet the deadline.
Okay, George, are you able to talk a little bit on that? 'Cause I don't really have much information on it, so that we could take a vote. Anything that you know, any complaints or anything?
No complaints. No complaints.
Okay, cooler runnings. Did you want to talk about that?
Actually, Cooler Runnings is on Nereid Avenue, and yeah, Wickham, and I think they just requested a permit for outdoor dining.
Right.
So,
Sidewalk or street? That makes a difference.
George,
But
is
it
it
should be-
sidewalk or street?
It should be noted that Cooler Runnings already has sidewalk dining. This is for the sidewalk. They are, as a result of DOT legislation or city council legislation for DOT, they now have to, it's a formalized process. You have to fill it out. And this is them applying for the first time through that formalized process.
Okay.
So this is them just making it, official. Their sidewalk cafe, sidewalk seating.
No, it's probably the one side is like a vegetarian cafe, and the other side is just the West Indian. So, and he's been in business there for like forever, so for years. So, could we get a motion?
So moved.
A motion to what?
A motion to accept his application
For a sidewalk dining area.
Okay, for sidewalk dining for Cooler Runnings.
Okay, you said
1802 Nereid Avenue. Second? You have a second?
Yeah, second.
Second?
Yeah, Robert Hall, second.
Okay.
Okay, now we got to take a vote on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, we need to copy the nays. The nays, if you can. Okay. Anyone else? Mame, if you can just state your full name.
Mame Mensa.
Luke Sabados has to recuse.
Tony, you got that? And Luke Sabados has to recuse because he works for DOT. Okay, so it passed. All right, so we're gonna move to the next report. Committee 2 and 3 was a combined meeting. Talene and Luke. Talene, do you wanna go first? Talene, we can't hear you.
So sorry, I'm just busy talking. Good evening, everybody. This meeting, we put together we were asked by the chair to put together Committee 2 and Committee 3 to have our meeting because we also needed to go over the list of identified priorities, budget priorities. So Luke, if you would please do me the honor.
Sure. So we went through our budget requests for parks, for sanitation.
Let me just give everybody an overview. So committees were meeting to kind of like identify our priorities for our budget requests. And so that's what committees did this month. Over the summer, June and August, George and I meet with the city agencies over budget consultations. So we take a vote today on what we're identifying as our needs. We do have to all collectively decide the numerical order. In September, we have a public hearing to discuss all of this. October 31st, George submits it. George, can you back me up, or what else would you like to add? Do we need to decide today the numerical order, or can we do that over the summer?
No, we can do it over the summer. Well, we can do it, the process starts in September and October, but the committees should have been meeting with city agencies to discuss what the priorities are, what the needs are, and then we bring it back collectively to the board, have a discussion about it, and then we vote. Then we have a public meeting discussing our priority. It depends on when you want the public hearing, but we have to hash out the numerical order of our priorities, and not just on capital, which would be infrastructure more than $35,000, and it could be expense as well. For example, we want more cops. That would be an expense item. So those are the types of things. But like I said, you can meet during the summertime. You meet with your committees, have conversations about the stuff that we've been discussing all year, what the needs are. For example, flooding is a major issue. You have to articulate what you want. You can't just say, we want to address flooding. Do you want to study to figure out if flooding is a real problem? Is it that, we just spoke about a trunk main earlier before. That's not gonna solve a flooding problem, but is there capacity to do that, and how does the agency do that? Is there a plan for achieving that? So those are the types of things that you have to have conversations about, and then you vote on it. So I hope that helps.
It does. Any questions? So George, so today we could just identify them. We don't have to decide the numerical order.
Yeah, I mean, you can, again, the process should have been that our committees were meeting and identifying what the needs are, and that that they've been discussing, that people have brought to them, the community or even individuals. All of you are residents. We all live here. What are the needs? And then getting the board to buy in on that stuff and having a vote on that stuff, and then prioritizing it. So in the past, I will talk as an example, the request for a recreation center was always number one. And then we got the YMCA, and now Shoelace Park is the number one request for Community Board 12. But we did not make a submission last year because we just never did it. And we're trying to do it this time. So the process for which that the chair and I, Beatrice and I, have to go through starts in late September and ends in like the first week of October. We do budget consultations with OMB and the rest of the community boards in the Bronx, and we put all our requests in, and then the agencies respond to us. And I think we've shared with you in the past our register, so you should be able to see. If not, we'll resend it. I know we've sent it a couple of times, but everybody on the board should have a list of our register of all the requests that we have on the capital side and on the expense side.
Great, thank you. Okay, now Luke.
Great, thank you so much. So the budget requests were split into multiple categories: parks, sanitation, public safety, and Committee 3 budget requests, environmental budget requests, and also I think under Committee 3 there's an educational request. And we also took one other vote, which was a letter that was recommended by the Department of Social Services to our federal and state elected officials to address EBT card skimming scams, which are defrauding EBT users from their balances. So we voted unanimously to send a letter to our federal officials for action on this scam, and to our state elected officials to provide funding for victims' compensation of EBT skimming scams. So that was one thing we voted on, but I'll get into our budget requests. So in no particular order, and I hope the fact that we didn't order them won't impact their ability to be approved. Great. Lighting in Bronx River Greenway underneath the Burke Avenue Bridge and along Rosewood Playground. We want ADA accessible entrances to Shoelace Park at 213th Street, 216th Street, and 229th Street, where pedestrians have to walk into oncoming traffic to enter the park. We want capital upgrades in Renzi Playground, which I believe are slated, but we want to continue emphasizing our support. We want capital funding to address the flooding and prevent combined sewage overflow into the Bronx River at 2 playgrounds where the restroom facilities are causing backup into the river. That's at 219th Street and Allenville Playground and 227th Street Playground. We want infill planting, tree plantings in Shoelace Park, just like they did in Mashalou Parkway, which is gorgeous. We want to add blue light emergency communication technology in all CB12 parks. We want to expand pocket parks within CB12, especially on vacant spaces across the district. Capital funding for the dilapidated multi-use space at PS 112 in Edenwald. We want a Shoelace Park connector. This is something that we've brought to the committee for the first time this past week. Capital funding to connect Bronx Park to Shoelace Park via the western southbound span of Bronx Boulevard, which is partially owned by the Parks Department, between 211th Street and Duncan Avenue. This is a street that we get a lot of complaints about, where people park trailers and hang out, and it's kind of aligned perfectly to connect Bronx Park and Shoelace Park while still maintaining vehicular access. We're calling it the Shoelace Park Connector, and we're hoping to amplify this as the White Plains Road neighborhood study proceeds. Sanitation budget requests. We want increased manual litter patrol, increased basket service, increased abandoned lot cleaning, increased number of illegal dumping cameras, increased number of small street sweepers, increased headcount for enforcement, increased needle and syringe cleanups. For public safety, we want more NYPD officers, more and new vehicles. We want more traffic enforcement agents, more speed camera and red light cameras. and more blue lights in parks. Under our Committee 3, Education budget requests, we want a new Edenwall Library building and a new comprehensive health profile survey done in the district by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. There was a resolution of support. We had a very busy meeting. Resolution of support for $500,000 in funding for BCC Medical Internship Scholarship. And for environmental budget requests, we want to add trees, new storm sewers, and green infrastructure across the district. We want a assessment of our current environmental infrastructure, and assessment would include whether we need new water mains or rain gardens to address the chronic flooding that we're having in the district. Capital funding for infrastructure that can withstand the large amounts of water infiltration. So,
I just want to add something. We did mention trees, but we also addressed like what Alton is going through, that with trees, we do have to be mindful. I was reading somewhere whether it's male or female determines if there's more allergens in the air, but also the structural issues that it does cause to our homes. And so while we do feel like we need more trees, we do also have to be careful of the detriments of having more and how we would manage that, and, you know, getting some sort of a planner that can help us navigate that.
Denise, you have a question?
Just a minute. Am I unmuted? Can you hear me? Yeah, I've been
We hear
putting
you.
my hand up for a while. I had a comment, actually, 2 comments and a question, but I'll go because, anyway, George, you mentioned that we didn't put in a report last year. Is there a reason why we didn't put these requests in last year?
We didn't go through the process.
Okay. And then, Luke, also, you may want to put on there unemployment benefits. There's been scams with unemployment benefits payouts as well, where information has been leaked out through the Labor Department, and people account information was switched without their knowledge, and there was fraud. Maybe that's something you can put that goes with the EBT scamming thing. And also, I wanted to comment earlier, I put my hand up for cooler runnings. You know, I'm glad that everyone approved that. Cooler Runnings has been in this neighborhood for quite a long time. They've been known to donate food to certain functions. And, you know, they just very community oriented. And I think them getting this license is well deserved. Thank you.
so the letter for unemployment benefits scams, maybe that could be a separate letter that we send, because it's sent to a different agency. That's probably the State Department of Labor. If we're amenable, we can potentially include that tonight in a vote under new business, I guess. Okay. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Sounds like we might table that till September.
Thank you.
Right, so today we're just sharing what was identified at committee. We have a little bit of time, but it can't go past next month. You know, luckily these committees meet at the very beginning of September, so we will have to decide by then. And then have a public hearing so that George has enough time to submit everything by October 31st.
So, Madam Chair, I just wanted to know, that was quite elaborate as far as the LED lighting. And I just wanted to add something, but I'm saying we have time for that also. I mean, because you got everybody thinking now. You know,
Well, I
what
think
street is not lit?
I'm personally amenable to friendly amendments. So if you're suggesting one,
I was just going to add Holland Avenue right by Immaculate Conception Church, because the grand larcenies would validate the need for lighting, and I wanted to include that. And I'm working with Immaculate Conception to try to offset all of the issues that have occurred. And we started already because George had a meeting with them, and I just wanted to continue. And when Father comes back, we're going to continue this. But that's what I have to converse with you.
Okay, Alfredo, if you wouldn't mind, we could add that as a friendly amendment to the blue lights for public safety. Great.
Look, also, Seaton Falls Park along 233rd, like, I don't know if it's because of the trucks that are parked there now, it's like so dark and scary along 233rd between Baychester and, yeah, by the library going straight down, you know? Yeah.
So these blue lights are these like emergency response lights that you might see and you press it and it triggers a response from emergency patrol. Sounds like you might be describing street lighting?
Yeah, need some kind of like, you know, like decorative. We need high intensity.
That's Department of Transportation. I work for them.
But
you
but
know?
here's my recommendation. I mean, these are all great ideas now that we have the larger group together. But over the summer, put your list and requests of ideas together, and then when we come back to committee early September, we put that on the table, and that's when we'll decide our final list.
Okay, I mean, it's also possible we could, as a new business item, vote to incorporate this as a committee one budget recommendation.
But it's not on the agenda, so we can't vote on that.
Still gotta sit down and talk.
Yeah, let's take the time. Let's take the time during the summer for all of you to really gather your input. When we come back to committee in September, just make sure you identify those.
Yeah, we definitely have to meet over the summer.
Right. Wait, not yet, because we have more to that report that our social media crew wanted to add, and Talene. So just so everybody's aware, those two committees, Committee 2 and 3, met collectively. So it's encompassing all those things. So we just have Alpha for social media. You had some requests.
Yeah, so we wanted to add marketing for subscriptions, kind of for our Instagram page, which we have it live. We wanted to be able to market, so we have to get the blue verified subscription badge for you to have the ability to have multiple users on it at the same time. So we want to have that. We need for ads, so we can be able to push within our community whatever we have. We wanted mics, not cameras, lighting, the camera stands. So
recording equipment,
marketing equipment, and yeah. And
George and Ursula, we weren't sure though. Is that something that, I know there's different budgets. There's like, the office budget, and then there's, the capital. Would that fit under either of those two? Like when you got the tablecloth for us? George or Ursula, like if we had some of these requests, where would we allocate those to?
Well, I guess it depends on the tablecloths came from our budget. We don't have multiple budgets. We have only one budget. But if you're making a request, I don't know what Alpha is referring to when he says you need cameras and stuff like that. We have cameras in the office.
No, more like stands. Where you could put your phones on, like the stand to put the phone on. Tripod.
Yeah, that's. I would imagine that that's a lot cheaper, and we could probably get that on our own.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, continue, Luke.
I just have are we not allowed to take a vote on new business items if it hasn't been explicitly on the agenda? Really? What? Okay, well I think that's everything, right, Tolene? And I just really want to thank Tolene for all her guidance and leadership through these joint committee meetings and all this year so far. Thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well. Thank you, everybody.
So I would request a motion to accept the report. So moved. Are there any nays? Any recusals? Any abstentions? All in favor? Passes unanimously. And I'd like a motion to approve or support the budget, adopt the budget list and letter of support for the scamming, EBT scamming.
For the list and where we have to
Yes.
order it numerically.
Right. So this motion would be to adopt these budget requests that had been identified.
A thought that we just passed the committee report. We have it listed there. You go back to committee in September, finalize it by adding others, and then we take a vote on the list.
Great. And we can order it at the committee level, too. Thanks so much, everybody.
I was saying the badge, the verification badge. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just needed to know what was the first part of what y'all said. They're good.
They're not ours. Oh.
Question: the letter for the EBT's card skimming scam. Do we need an extra vote on that in order to send that out?
Yes.
Okay, so this, I'd like a letter, a motion of support to send out this letter to our federal and state elected officials seeking federal action to protect EBT users from card skimming scams and state funding to compensate victims for the scams.
Second.
Javit moved and Alfredo seconded. Thank you, everybody. Oh, any nays, any abstentions, any recusals? All in favor?
I'm sorry, I didn't know, I wasn't aware you was the chair, Luke. I believe Beatrice is the only one that should be taking motions.
Oh, Lord.
No, the committee chairs could because it's their part of their report. Denise.
Keep switching back and forth. I mean, thank you. Just got confused.
All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Now we're going to move on to new business. We're going to give the mic to Bobby, Board Elections.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Bobby Link. I am the chair of the nominating committee. I want to thank the nominating committee for their hard work. We met on May 15th and June 2nd and did the exhaustive job of vetting all of the candidates for our new officers. Thank you to Wayne Palma, Alfredo Figueroa, Vanga Sabir, and Sabrina Fisher. So at the end of this exhaustive process, we now have an unopposed slate of candidates which have been approved by the nominating committee. Those candidates are Beatrice Coronel, chairperson, Clinton Mike, first vice chair, John Isaac, second vice chair, Judith Benitez, correspondence secretary, Etonia Davis for the recording secretary, and Talene Dickerson for treasurer. I would like to make a motion first to adopt the unanimously approved report of the nominating committee.
That was Carl Stricker and Michelle Blumfield.
Congratulations all. Thank you, Bobby.
Well, I think we need a vote. Right. All right. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Any recusals? It's unanimously approved. Now, I think we need a second vote to actually elect and appoint the executive officers. Again, Beatrice is our chairperson, Clinton Mike, first vice chair, John Isaac, second vice chair, Judith Benitez, correspondence secretary, Antonia Davis, recording secretary, and Talene Dickerson, treasurer. All in favor, or I need a motion. I've made the motion. Does anyone second?
Seconded.
We have a second. We're good? Okay, all in favor? Anyone opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? So we have our executive officers for 2026.
Congratulations to everyone. Thank you. Okay, last item on the agenda, identify illegal dumping locations. Ursula and George. Yeah, for trash.
Good job.
Ursula and George, do you want to say something on this? George? So we're identifying illegal dumping locations to report back to the borough president. Or George?
Yeah, sorry, my microphone stopped working. Yeah, we took the list. I think Luke submitted some sites, and some other board members may have contributed sites. We submitted the list to the borough president's office. They responded with appreciation. Say it again? Oh, you could submit it. Yeah. If anybody has a site for illegal dumping, now the thing for the borough president's offices was for illegal dumping within parks. The submissions that we made were community garden sites and maybe unfinished streets, but we did submit those. Okay.
George, would that be inclusive of Capuchin Way? Or is that something?
Well, that's Capuchin Way is not a park.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So just I don't know if you explained. I'm sorry, I was walking down
Yeah.
here. The request from the borough president's office is that they're making a request for funding for Argus cameras. So Argus cameras are what the NYPD use and what sanitation uses to catch people dumping illegally. So that's what they're doing. They're gonna I guess the funding is specifically for parks properties, but again, if there are other sites, we can always incorporate that and send that to the respective agencies. Okay. So if you want to add Capuchin, just send it to me and I'll.
Okay, so everybody should send you the list.
I'm sorry?
Everybody should send you, do they have any additions to your list?
Yeah, we submitted the list to the borough president's office, but if they have any additional sites, I will gladly resubmit the list. All right.
Okay, any questions before we close? Any questions before we close? Okay, can I get a motion to close? Dominique and Eric. Oh, wait, 1 sec.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. The one last thing I just want to say is we had a good year this year. This is the end for the summer, but I just want to say that the community has a lot of events going on during the summertime and during the year as well. And I just think that the community board, we need to show more of a presence at a lot of these events that the elected officials have. We just need to show up. A lot of times, I hate to say it, I'm like the only one there, sometime when I do go, but we just need to show more of a presence at these events, like I said, and there's some during the summer too. So if we can, just try. Even if you show up for a few minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes, just to show your face. Because people, sometimes they do ask, like Kevin Riley will ask, do you want to speak? At these events, street co-namings and such, Ariel. And, we just like to know, we want the people in the community to know who we are.
Thank you.
So if you can, just try to show up in the summer. Right. Right, and Alpha, now that you're in charge of the Instagram, you'll be there, I'm sure. See you in the summer.
TikTok. TikTok.
You got to go on Instagram. Let me let Dr. Finn do it.
I got you. So Instagram is definitely live. I started kind of sharing it with everybody. So BXCB12 Connect is live. There is nothing on it yet because we have not really started, but it is live, okay? I will be at summer events taking some photos. So if you guys don't see one of us there, please also take photos or video of what's going on because that's help to us too.
And we'll still be doing interviews. So if I say, hey, listen, I want to interview you right now, be camera ready.
Madam Chair, can I share one thing before we go?
Is Denise trying to say something? Denise? Oh, I heard somebody say Madam Chair. Alina. Yeah, go, Alina.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure I did hear about some dark lighting. I didn't want us to have to wait. I don't want you to wait for the entire summer. If possible, can you please just put a 311 complaint and then give me that number? Because I can definitely, we can have DOT check out if that area is dark. We don't have to wait for that. I just wanted to share that.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
311 you said, right?
Yeah, just do the 311 complaint number and then email it to me or, send it over to George or Ursula and they'll send it to me. And then I'll follow up with, because there are areas where the lights do go dim.
Right.
That's happened some in other areas that I covered. So we just need to let DOT know and they'll check them out.
Thank you, Alina.
You're very welcome. Thank you all. Great summer.
So with that said, I'll see you guys in the summer around the community. And I want to make a motion to close the meeting at this time.
Third.
Okay. Dr. Dominique?
Don't forget the legislative breakfast, Saturday, July 12th, 9 a.m. here, previous to Speaker Hasey's cookout. Good night, everyone. Enjoy your summer. See you around.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Have a great summer.
Mr. Paris, have a good one.
Good night, you guys. Get home safe.
Yes.